So you don't need the paper?
No, it's $838, right?
Yes, sir.
That's the payment?
Steve, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
When he's justifying the 838, he's going through talking about when you get the title, the value of it there. Have you seen anybody maybe go in and throw in the select three, whatever number the customer says, say, you know what, you're probably low?
You know, normally, here's what happens in real life, okay? I used to carry a residual book with me around, okay? It was about that thick, because I had to have a residual for every single make and model, because it's a terrific strategy for new vehicles, but it's awesome for used, because most of the depreciation has already taken place. Well, I go to work one day, and I don't have my residual book. So I said, what am I going to do? Well, I just decided to ask the customer what they think the vehicle will be worth. They're almost always what?
High.
Always high. The only time I get in trouble, the only time I have a little bit of trouble is when the customer won't give me a number. Well, I got no idea. I ain't in car business. Then I'll go to KBB and look up a 5 or 6 year old vehicle and say, all right, here's what KBB says it should be worth in 6 years. But I don't know. You don't need to do that, okay? But here are the graphics. Billy, so what you're telling me is you don't want to write an $838 check and send it to a lender every single month. Is that what I'm hearing you say?
That's right.
You could, you just don't want to.
That's right.
All right? Now, Billy, look, you're going to do $838. By the way, does it sound like I'm going to drop the payment at all? You're going to do $838 60 times. Okay? But you're not going to pay $838 to drive that vehicle every single month. You're going to pay significantly less. And I'm going to show you that in just a second. Because the vehicle's going to depreciate, correct? Everybody knows that, but what everybody doesn't know is there is a savings element to every payment you make. Because when you make that 60th payment, what comes back to you in the mail a couple weeks later?
Title.
And Billy, it's a cool title. Yes.
What do you know what the percentage of people that actually get a title to a vehicle? Let's put it this way. When I ask the question, you know what comes back in the mail after you make your last payment, a lot of people don't know. Right.
When the customer said tax refund, I went, fuck.
Isn't the average trade cycle about every 3 or 4 years?
Yeah, I don't know what the percentage is.
Okay.
Okay, I do know that it's going up. People are keeping their vehicles longer now than at any time in the history of the car business. The average age of a vehicle on the road these days is 12 and a half years old. 4 years ago, it was like 10 in a couple months. So people are keeping them longer. More people are going to see titles. So, Billy, you got the title, and it's a Billy title, okay? It's free and clear. No lender on there. So, my question for you is, if you drive this truck like you plan on driving it, you don't do anything special, you don't crash it, you don't trash it, what do you think that $50,000 vehicle is going to be worth in 5 years?
Maybe $30,000.
So, here's the situation. 5 years from now, think about this. You got yourself a great truck, $30,000 piece of equipment. You got no car payment at all. Okay? You are living high. But do me a favor. Divide 30,000 by 60. Well, you know what? That's easy. We don't even need a calculator for that because that's $500. Now, Billy, do you know what that $500 represents?
No.
Okay. Remember, over here, you're doing what you don't want to do. You're writing a check for $838. You're sending it to the lender. Metaphorically speaking, the lender's kicking back $500 of that $838 every time you make the payment. Because when it's all said and done, you've been sending the lender $838, they've been sending $500 of it back to your title, and you've got a $30,000 asset. So, you're only going to pay $338 a month to drive the truck. Now, I need you to put a check mark by $838 and okay that right down below. The math isn't difficult. The only math you're doing is third grade math. You're dividing the ending value by what?
The term of the payment.
The term of the loan, and then you're subtracting that number from the gross payment. You know, does anybody in here have a whole life insurance policy? Okay. Those of you that have a whole life insurance policy, every time you make a premium payment, are you building cash value in your whole life insurance policy? You don't need to die to have that policy be worth something, do you? You don't need to die. You don't need to die. I need to die. Okay? I've got term insurance. Every time I make a premium payment, it's gone forever. Because the only time it pays off is if I'm dead. The same thing happens when you make a car payment. You're building cash value in that vehicle every single time you make a monthly payment. So if you've got a customer who's got a whole life insurance policy, it's easier for them to understand it. But most customers don't. Does this make sense?